Malifaux minis. And we have a few to do. So I think we're going to start off with our plug wrenches first of all, before we do anything else. I've not a clue what these are supposed to be, so I'm just going to make the colours up as I go along. That's the way I like to work. So, how do we start off? Well, I am thinking what we do is using I just found it. Okay, so we're going to start off first of all giving a wash over the whole thing with Reichland Flesh Shade, as you can see. So put that there, get a decent sized brush on the go. As you can see with me brushing away with this, the super glue is holding quite well. Don't have an issue with this breaking off, and it feels pretty sturdy. So hopefully it will be. There we go, that's the first that's the first thing we're going to do. Okay, so next I'm going to just get my knife out and just, there's a loose bristle here, I'm just going to slice that off. Put that to one side. I need to go and get a tissue, won't be a second. Okay, I'm back, and when I say tissue, I actually mean a paper towel, so I can dry my brush. Right, here we go. I think first off, no, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do this one, Sign of the Black Blood. And for this, I'm going to use quite a greyish colour for the skin, I think. If you think about it, he's called Sign of the Black Blood, and I'm assuming that's because he has black blood. This would give, to me, what I will think is a greyish cast. So we're going to start off with Abaddon Black. And we'll pop that down on our palette, like so, and then we'll put the paper towel, there we are, and then we want a greyish colour, and for this I think I'm going to use palest grey that I've got, which is Ulthuan Green. Sorry, not Ulthuan Green, Ulthuan Grey. And I'm going to put this down but I will be mixing the black into it in bits, because I don't want an incredibly dark grey colour. And it's fairly pale, because after that I'm going to pop in just a little spot of, what's this one? Nurgling green. Just a little bit, just to take off that completely grey colour, and put that just straight into it. And it's not quite as, not done as much as I was hoping. Let's give it a good shake first, and then try again. And that's better, I think. Okay, so here we are, and it's a bit too green now. You can get it, so I'll add some more black into the mix. Which doesn't seem to have achieved anything whatsoever in regards to the greenness, but I suppose we can always do something about it with a wash further down the line. And it's not a terribly bad greeny colour after all, so we'll let that dry for a few moments, and we may not be using a normal wash for that. You never know, we'll find out later. See how it dries first of all. What we are going to do, however, is using the fang. Okay. Pop some of that onto our palette, like so, and then scoop up. In fact, I can add some of the fang into this colour to change it completely. There we are, and this colour is going to be the colour of his trousers. Now for this we will be using a wash later on, because it's looking a little too grey and I want it more blue, so I'll probably use a Brackenhoff Nightshade wash on the trousers, just to bring out the blue a little more. Alright. And that is that's done. What we're going to do now is using Agrak's Earthshade, which is, as you know, that colour, straight out of the pot, and we will use that on these wrist strappings here. Like so. And this one as well. And oops. Also use it in what I assume to be horns. And there we are. That's that done. And next we will go with black. I'm just going to mix some of the little bit of grey that we had in there in with the black, and then we can do the boots. And you see, I'm not all that fussed about going over the base at all because well, it's going to be black anyway. We're doing it as stonework, so it'll be black and then grey, and then we'll go over with a few different whatchamacallit, a few different washes of different colours. And once we've done the boots in this colour, we'll also do the belt. Like so. There we go. And that's the belt done. I am having a bit of a shaky hand day today. My hands are quite sore today, so I'm having trouble gripping. Really should have put this on some form of support so I can hold it better, but trust me, I didn't. I'm just going to go along the top of the trousers here where I caught it with some of this grey colour. And I've missed a bit. Between his legs and there as well. Yeah. And I'm going to just soak up some of the Earthshade from there. There we go. I think we are going to be needing some wash over the skin areas, but never mind. That we can do at another time. Next, in fact, no, what I want to do instead is sticking with the black. We're going to go over the gun. And I really do hope we enjoy playing this game now after this. Thing is, if we don't, it doesn't make any difference, because all that will happen is that we've had a really good experience of trying to learn something and document our attempts at doing so. I think no matter whether we like it or not, it's going to be a case of just going to have some fun. I'll try and make it as fun as possible, trying to get used to it. And I'm going to do a dagger as well in black. It's a different way than I usually do of painting metals, but I'll try and make these slightly, give them a different look than what I'm used to. There we go, so that's everywhere now base coated. It's just a wash I need to give certain areas, so we'll do that now. And one wash is going to be not Keely green shade, but Gnome oil. Give this a good shake. And that's the one we're using. And I think I've just opened the new one, and I've got another pot open somewhere. Oh well, not to worry. And this is going over the skin areas, and again, I'm not trying to make it very heavy. I don't want an incredibly heavy wash. I just want it just a tint in the flesh areas more than actually darken them. And I know that probably sounded a little strange. I know what I mean. Because usually when I apply a wash, it's to darken everything down, blend the colours together, and then I can add the highlights. With this, I just want to change the tint of the skin. I don't want it looking green. I want it looking like a greeny grey colour. Emphasis on the grey. There we go. finally just on the bottom of the legs here. I'm going to go over the boots as well because they were black anyway. I'm just going to touch up on some areas. There we are. Just go over the gun. And now wash that out, close the pot, and we can get the Drakenhof nightshade out. I've just found the null oil that was already open. Never mind. This is the Drakenhof nightshade. This is the one that's going over the shoes. Sorry, the trousers. It's a greyish blue colour, much like the colour that I wanted for the trousers themselves. Now you can do these a heavy wash. I'm saying you can, I mean I can do these as a heavy wash because I want these to look blue, not grey. And I know they were looking big, as the paint was drying it was looking to be more bluer than grey, but it's still not blue enough. But I didn't want to go straight over the whites because I wanted it fairly darkish and not good denim. The proper blue denim, not the bleach denim. There we are. And that is it for him. All we can do for the time being. There we go. How are these looking? Quite. It seems to have dried okay. So what I'm going to do now is, using some Screaming Skull, which is this colour here, I'm going to be just giving the shirt a little bit of a dry brush. So for this we'll need a dry brush. The smaller dry brush. If I can get my hands on it. Do it on that one. That one will do. That's the small dry brush. And just get some on the brush itself. Wipe some off there. And then we'll just swoop down on the t-shirt. Like so. And you can see why I wanted to have the base of it covered with the what do we call it? The Reikland Flesh shade, because it gives a good base for this to show up against. I don't want it too That's the word I'm looking for. I don't want it too dark or too pale. And this, for me, I think gives just the right amount of difference. And the effect that I'm trying to achieve. There we go. That will do for that. Next, the trousers. And for this I'm going to use some, not that one, Castellan green. That can go on our palette. Just about there. Add a little bit of that blue into it, just to change the colour slightly. No, I say bluey grey. And this is going to be for the trousers. Strangely enough, normally I start off with the flesh colour. For some strange reason I've decided not to here. I don't know why I've changed. Never mind. Let's just keep plodding on and see where this lapse of memory leads us, shall we? I want to make sure all of the crevices for this, because we don't have much paint left. I think I should have mixed some more, but never mind. In fact, I'm going to get some more on the palette. This colour seems to have gone. And damn it anyway. I'm going to just take a little bit of water on the brush. It's not spreading terribly well. That's better. And here we can just get on the trouser parts. Done. And I'm not trying to make any big effort at painting these ones, because with it just being the 2-play starter set and with going to be going alongside Ollie with learning how to play with this set, she's never painted models before, so I don't want to go too fancy with them. I want them to look fairly adequate for playing. Like I said, this is just a little tester for us. And we hope that we do like the game. Because if we do like the game, I think the hobby for us both will grow. We'll we'll get quite a few more models in the future. If we don't like the game, then we can just revisit this. Which isn't a problem.